Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Bernie with CG Spectrum. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's doing well and everyone had a good weekend. Weekends just go by so fast, don't they? Yep. But anyways, did any of you do anything cool for the weekend? Hey, what's up, Julian? For me, more swimming with the kids. What else did I do? I don't think I did too much. I just caught up with errands and fixing stuff in the backyard. A couple of my trees snapped and broke. So I had to like remove that, clean it up. And it's weird. Monday morning, it's like everything's a blur to me. Like I don't know if I'm still sleeping or if this is all a dream. Is this real life? You know what I mean? I'm still trying to think of what I did over the weekend. I know I did something. Oh boy. Anyways, today we are going to continue rendering this guy. I think I gotta loosen up a little bit. I think part of the reason why I'm being a little bit tighter on this on these concepts that I do on the stream is because I know they're going to be possibly used for 3D art by a student on the 3D side. So I'm trying to make things as clear as possible, and that's not my natural style. My natural style is much looser. So I think it's affecting the way I paint here. Like when you give stuff to like a concept piece to a more seasoned 3D artist, they could figure everything out. I mean, you don't have to like clean every single thing up. But yeah, for the more of a beginner the 3D artist is, of course, you do need to clean things up and make things clear. And that's why I'm trying to do that here. What's new, Julian? Hey, what's up, Glitter? What's up, Chad? Now I know it's you. The natural style would be more of what I was doing earlier in the streams when I was doing those quick concepts. I think it would be more towards like Diablo style, a little bit darker, a little bit more painterly. Yeah, but here again, can't really do that. Well, not yet. Later, maybe. Oops. But yeah, I feel like I'm being too uptight and very slow because of that. So I want to speed things up a bit. So I'll try to loosen up a little. I think that happens to a lot of artists, or at least I could speak for concept artists, where you can tell just by looking at the art piece, like the work in progress, that they're being too uptight about things sometimes. And I always tell them, you gotta loosen up, you gotta try to loosen up. Because things look very boring and stiff when you are that way. And that's how I feel about my work right now here. Julian says, we renamed our game, so I had to create some new images for the Steam page. And also some new concept art we need for marketing purpose for publishers. What did you rename your game to? What was the previous name, and what did you rename it to? And why did you have to rename it, or why did you decide to rename it? Julian says previous name was Hope. It was too generic and hard to find, so we renamed it to Nura's Wish. Interesting. True, I guess it would be hard to find if you search for Hope, right? Cool. Renee. Oh, hey, what's up, Renee? Yeah. I know you, Renee. Glad you could join. I guess you're saying that you were here before just under a different name or a guest. How's it going? You're working on your own stuff right now? I think I saw some of your work on the Digi Paint channel, right? I see you posting there, so that's awesome. I don't have I haven't had too much time to respond to anything on there yet, but I will try to make time. But yeah, I lurk around too once in a while. I think what I do is I just try to make sure no one's asking for my help directly, so like I'll scan through it really quick, and then I'll notice sometimes some students that are posting. Trying to decide what to do here with the lighting. I'm gonna make this into a highlight here. Julian says, I also have the same trouble with my art. My sketches look more alive, but are not correct in the details. And when I clean them up, they become stiff, as you said. That's not easy. Yeah, that happens to, like, that naturally happens to almost everybody, I think. The sketches always look more alive. For obvious reasons, right? Your line work is, you know, you're more flowing with it. You're not refining anything. Some areas are ambiguous, right? So once you start clarifying things stiffen up often. So yeah, we make effort to try to keep that flow, that energy in the final image, right? That is what you're always trying to do. That's why it's often good to exaggerate your initial drawing. Exaggerate like the curves, the shape language, the shapes, even the proportions a little bit, because you know that it's going to stiffen up, it's going to start looking a bit boring eventually when you start rendering it out. So always exaggerate it a little bit more than you think you need to, even when you're doing realism, I would say. Renee says, yeah, I watched but never said anything. You have to make a YouTube channel to chat. Oh, okay. I'm mostly doing studies at the moment. Materials mainly. Anything else I work on is homework. Awesome. So Renee, oh, sorry, let me keep reading. I've posted a little bit in Slack. I'm very burnt out on working on illustrations, honestly. Yep. And Renee says, very much ready for advanced concept art. Are you starting soon? You took a little break, is that what happened? But yeah, with illustrations, yeah, I used to get burnt out working on those too. That's why I knew it wasn't for me. I would just get, like, once in a while doing an illustration was cool. But doing that every week, you know, every day, every week, I realized quickly it wasn't for me. It's just too much. It wasn't fun. I like the ideation stage a lot more. So, yeah, think about what that means. Some people love rendering things. That's just what they're into, and they love the feeling of completing an image, right? Like, you know, so again, an illustration, taking it to completion, where it's just clean and finalized looking. People love that feeling, some people. That's when you know illustration is more for you. For me, it does nothing, doesn't do much, right? I don't really care. Again, I enjoy like thinking of ideas the most, and exploring different ideas. That's what makes me happy, or interests me the most. Glitter says, yeah, sometimes I feel I should just load the sketch rather than the final piece. Yeah, again, that comes with experience. Keep trying to, you know, improve things as you move forward in the image instead of losing that energy, right? Always add to it to make it cooler, to make it look more alive, like by adding effects, adding, you know, more curvature, more, you know, making the pose look more interesting, making the proportions look more interesting. I'm always making changes to the image until the very end. Glitter says, I hope I get good enough in the future to get into the advanced level of illustration. I love telling stories in my illustration. Yeah, the storytelling part is pretty fun, I would say, for illustration. That's something that you don't get to do as much with concept art. It depends, of course, what kind of concept art you do, but you're somewhat limited. But yeah, with illustrations, you can... The whole point of illustration is telling a story, so... yeah, that part is pretty fun. Alright. I feel like we're going a little bit faster today. That's good. I'm gonna make this shadow a lot shorter. I have to clarify this area. It's not very clear. This whole rib area. That looks weird. mainly because it doesn't match the other side. It's a little better. Grab this whole thing and try to adjust it. Yep. Glitter says, your piece reminds me of a Power Ranger villain. Cool. I didn't really watch Power Rangers growing up. I mean, because I was already older. I watched a few, I guess. But this is more, oh yeah. I hate Power Rangers, by the way. I don't know if I can say I hate it. I just think it looks silly. But again, I wouldn't know what it feels like to grow up with a show like that. Like I said, I didn't grow up with it. I was already pretty old, so yeah, I'm sure like when you're a kid growing up watching that stuff, it's a different feeling. But I get what you're saying about the design. I don't think my kid has watched Power Rangers at all. But I wonder if he would like it or not. Right now he's watching both my kids are into Avatar. They really like it. Oh, I messed up on the lighting here. Okay, and I wonder why it looks weird. Let me get rid of that. And just shorten that shadow completely. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this upper chest area, but I am having some trouble with it. Alright, let's figure this out. If anyone has questions about anything, please shoot it out in the chat. It doesn't have to be related to what I'm doing here. Just anything. Cool with me. Glitter asks, do you upload your work to ArtStation? I should, but I haven't been. Again, when I get more time, I will do that. I think I only have like 3 images up there or something. Just busy. And haven't felt the need to do it at this point. All you younger up-and-comers, though, should all definitely use any kind of social media, all that stuff that's available, any kind of websites or whatever to promote yourself. You should all definitely be doing all that. Marketing yourself is so important. Especially, again, when you're up-and-coming. That's what I would be doing if I were in your guys' shoes, basically. Because I've seen a ton of artists who weren't even that good. I mean, they're decent, of course. They're just not really good. And they just know how to market themselves really well. And so, I guess everything's like that, right? There could be products that are not like... They're not the best product, but if you market it well, you know, it does well. People buy it. People think it's the best thing ever, even though it's not. So that's where marketing yourself is super important. And I do not look down on people who are able to be successful doing that, because you know, they basically figured out an angle, right, on how to expose themselves to get more exposure for, you know, them as an artist or whatever, and gain traction and, you know, make a living doing it. It's not like they're trying to rip people off. It's just they're putting in the effort to market themselves. And if their skills were not the best, it's fine, you know, they figured out a different way to make it work for them. And that's smart. For this piece, it's a little weird, even though I know I don't have to feel like strictly like I have to go by the design my son did. I still feel like I should, even though I keep telling myself I don't have to. I'm still trying to stick to the design quite closely. Oops. Do that. Julian says, have you something nerdy that inspires you? For example, sea slugs or medieval armor? I'm trying to understand what that means. Do you have something nerdy that inspires you? Sea slugs? Are sea slugs nerdy? Medieval armor? Why is that nerdy? Explain, Julian. I'm not sure if I understand your question. Renee asks, any tips on how to market yourself? I assume it's way more than just uploading your art and add some tags to it. Sure. You could do what I'm doing here. Stream. I mean, if I wasn't doing this for CG Spectrum, I would probably be doing it on my own, just for fun. Like doing other stuff, of course, but yeah. Stream, I think you can learn a lot from streaming, to be honest. I was forced into this, well, I was encouraged to be in this position of streaming, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to say forced. But I'm chained to this chair. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's been a good experience, like just streaming. You learn a lot. Just getting used to like doing things that are uncomfortable. I like that kind of stuff for myself, like stretching myself, doing things that I'm not comfortable with, and then just trying it. I like challenging myself, so that's been fun. I'm not saying I'm good at this, of course I'm not, but it's just fun to do it, knowing that I can do it if I want to, right? So yeah, stream, even if you're not that good at whatever you're doing, right? You have something to offer to somebody out there, right? That's how you should see it. It's not like, don't compare yourself to all these people who get like 100,000 views or something like that, right? Just do your part. You know, you have something to offer, and that's all you got to do. And it helps you practice, explain what you're doing. It helps you understand or think about, you know, the viewers and like how you serve them, right? So it's more of a like outward thing, right? Where art can be very inward. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Where it's you're just doing art for yourself, and over time it gets old to do that. In my opinion, when you're helping someone else or you're influencing someone else in a positive way, you're teaching someone else, you're sharing your experiences with someone else, even your struggles, sharing your struggles with someone else. I think that is that's a good thing to do. So try it out, streaming, making just YouTube videos like instructional stuff. You could try that. Again, it's you could just focus on whatever you're good at or decent at, right? You don't have to be good at everything. So let's say you're good at drawing hands. I knew some artists that were really good at drawing hands. Then just show how to draw hands, because a ton of artists don't know how to draw hands well. I don't know how to draw hands well. Or if you're good at drawing faces, focus on that. You know what I mean? Again, think about what you have to offer to other people and show that off. That's a good way of marketing yourself. Or let's say you do like cute drawings, right? Like you like drawing cutesy stuff. Or even this, like, you know, there was a guy, I forget his name. There's a guy that did like, he drew like realistic versions, or at least the textures were realistic for like kid drawings, right? He did like couple hundred of those, I think, and he made a book out of it. That was his angle of marketing himself, right? He was the guy that drew over kid drawings and made them look cool, and people thought that was interesting to look at. Like I would say, more than like artsy people, I would say like that interests the normal like average person out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was his angle of marketing himself, doing kid drawing over kids. I mean drawings. So find a niche, right? That's always good to market yourself. I would say Feng Zhu did a really good job back in the day of marketing himself. I think at the time he was one of those guys that really put in a lot of effort in marketing himself. And, you know, now he has a school and everything, right? Everybody knows about him, so. Yeah, and his thing was teaching people how to do game art. Up and coming people, right? Students. Like do challenges, right? Like maybe on Instagram you could do a 100-day challenge where you draw a face like every day, right? Things like that. Maybe you do a redesign a existing character in League of Legends or some game that exists out there, right? That's a way to market yourself, because when people search for that game, your imagery or whatever can come out, right? Could come up. Do a day in the life of an artist, like or a student trying to be an artist, like a professional, right? I mean, all that stuff I think would be pretty interesting. Like what you go through and all that. I don't know. I would think that'd be interesting to watch. Glitter says Sea Slug wearing medieval armor. That sounds interesting. Julian says no nerdy in the sense of nerdy, I think. More like something you can get nerdy about. Okay, that makes sense. Because you are so fascinated by it. That makes you want to draw. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry I didn't understand, Julian. So what inspires me? Animals. You guys already know that. I really like drawing animals. Any kind of animal, really. Nature in general is super cool, I think. That's why I'm into like plants and growing different kinds of plants, succulents, cacti, all that, fruit trees. That's why I'm into chickens too. I mean, honestly, if I could, I would have like a whole little zoo. But then I would have to quit my job to take care of that zoo, or I would have to get filthy rich and hire people to take care of my zoo. Or I have to train my kids to take care of my zoo. And they would hate me for it. But yeah, I'm really into animals. Anything living, growing. I think all that stuff is cool. What else? Oh, that's why I have books like this too. What is this? Natural histories, like these books. Oh, I don't even know if I can show this, but anyways, whatever. Maybe these are pretty cool. It's all like historical stuff. You know, it has these like people would look at different animals, right, and draw them so that they can create like a database back in the day of what things look like, record different types of animals and plants, stuff like this, you know. I'm into this kind of stuff. When I was younger, I thought I wanted to work at a zoo. I think I told you guys, like be some kind of a zoologist or something. And at another point, I thought I wanted to be an archaeologist, like Indiana Jones. But I liked looking for fossils and all that stuff, like hidden things or whatever. Ancient stuff. Oops. And I was really into UFOs and all that kind of weird stuff. Bigfoot, Loch Ness, that brontosaurus that was in Africa or something, I forget. Weird stuff like that. Anyways, Renee says, I've thought about streaming before, but I always get nervous about it, which is weird because I used to stream games and had no problem there. Maybe because art is more personal. Yep, it probably is because art is more personal. Even when I'm doing this kind of stuff, it's like, I mean, I'm over it, but you know, there's a lot of room to be misunderstood here. Like when I'm doing this stuff, it's like, this is not really what I would want to do, I guess. Meaning like the style, like I was talking about earlier. But you know, this isn't my channel, right? So I can't just do whatever I want. But yes, you're right, Renee. It is probably because art is more personal. Or you identify as an artist, right? So it becomes a lot more personal. Who likes being misunderstood? Nobody, right? Yeah, but part of it is to get over yourself, right? And to get over even the art you do. As a professional, we do try to disconnect ourselves somewhat to the art, because when you work for a game company, again, it's not really your art anymore. It's there, you're just working for the company, right? You're producing art for the game company. So with time, everybody gets used, most people get used to it. I've seen people who couldn't get used to it, but for the most part, everyone starts understanding why they're doing what they're doing. It makes sense. And then your soul dies. I'm just kidding. Partially. But yeah, try it out. I mean, again, honestly, man, it would have probably taken me a long time to get into streaming on my own. So I'm glad that through CG Spectrum I was able to be encouraged into this position where I could try streaming. It's been good for me, like personally. Glitter says, if you want views, then make more fan art. Or yeah, fan art's always good. For me, I make only personal work that is safe for work, and I barely get any views at all. But the people who do follow me follow for my style of work. Yep. Yeah, not safe for work stuff, that's all up to you. You know, some people are cool with that, and which is fine, and some people aren't. So then you just don't do it. It all depends on what you're comfortable with and what you think is cool and not cool. Julian says I also want to be an archaeologist. Unless, yeah, I think it could be cool. I mean, I still like looking for things. Like the idea of looking and digging for things is cool to me. Some people will think that's the most boring thing ever, but not me. But I understand why people think, well, that sounds so boring. Like you're just digging for stuff, looking for stuff for years, you know? You know how some people pay like, I don't know, a couple $100 to like dig for opals in Nevada or Arizona? And you're like sitting in this, baking in the sun, digging, right? Looking for opals, and like you might find a little piece if you're lucky. That's me. That's like, I'd be doing that and thinking I'm having a blast. And then someone like my wife would hate it. Glitter Daddy says, joke's on you, my soul is already dead. What happened to you? What happened? What killed your soul? Hey, by the way, if you guys like the stream, please give me a like. I'd appreciate it. Alright, I'm slowing down. Let's keep going. Let us keep going. Yeah, all this stuff is pretty ambiguous here. It's unclear, so I gotta clarify all of that. Oops. Glitter says I wanted to be a villain when I was a kid. That's funny. Interesting. I don't think I wanted to be a villain. I think I just was a villain. To my parents at least, or to my family. Yeah. Julian says, I wasn't interested after I found out that it's more about little pieces of ancient bowls. Yep. I'm sure, yeah, 90% of what they're finding is just like fragments of things, right? And they're like, what is this? Is it a piece of a dinosaur poop? You know, they're just trying to figure things out, and they're all like scattered little pieces. Julian also asked, do you have a favorite artist that inspires you, or which art you would put on your wall? I'm probably the wrong person to ask that kind of stuff to. I know some artists really have a lot of strong like opinions about like who they like and why. Every time someone asks me that, I always kind of tell them the same answer as I don't really have a favorite artist. Back in the day, it used to be Geiger, H.R. Geiger or Giger, however you say his name. The guy that worked on Aliens, the original Aliens. I say he was my favorite back in the day just because his art was so different looking. No one else was drawing like the stuff that he was drawing. And I thought the alien design was awesome. So yeah, nothing at the time could compare to that alien design in my opinion. So he's the one who inspired like all the future, you know, alien designs that people are doing. Or creature designs in general. It was so believable and weird and odd and unique looking, right? That's why he was my favorite artist at the time, probably in high school, college. Also, Brahm at the time in college was one of my favorite artists as well. Again, there weren't that many people like him, so yeah, his stuff was super inspirational. Right now, no, I don't have a favorite artist. There's too many good artists out there. Yeah, there's too many now. I think what inspires me is when an artist can really find their own voice, right? Their own style, and they run with it and they make it look awesome. I think after you've seen so many different kinds of art, you want to just see something different. You don't like looking at things that all look the same, um, if that makes sense. So artwork that looks different, yet like appealing, I guess, to a wider audience. I think that's what's inspirational to me. Because you can make something look different, right? Just because your art style is different doesn't mean it's cool or appealing to the masses, right? Which again, there's nothing wrong with. You could do whatever you want, but to make an art style that's appealing to others yet unique, I think that's cool. It's not easy to do. Will you show the piece you create now to your son if it's finished? Yeah, every time after the video is done or the streaming is done, I show him what I did, um, and see what he thinks about it. He gets a kick out of it, of course. And then he'll say, "Why did you do this?" and stuff like that. "Can you try this?" He'll tell me like what to try. And I say, "Yes, boss." No, but he gets a kick out of looking at the stuff and seeing his designs like come to life. And so then I remind him, you could do this too, you know, you just have to practice. Your designs are already fun and cool. So now you just have to practice on how to render and describe things, right? That's what I tell him. So then he goes and practices like drawing things. But yeah, they still love art class right now. They always have a blast. They're always excited about going to art class, which I think is cool. If you guys know my story, I always tell you guys, I never got to go to an art class when I was a kid. Even though I begged my parents to send me, they never did. They just sent me to piano class, which I hated. So it's cool to see my kids really enjoying like their art class and learning and stuff like that. But yeah, I told my younger son to draw something so that I could do this for his too. So we'll see what he comes up with later. Glitter says, does your son get royalty fees? He gets snacks. And Julian says, really cool. I think about him like a small art director. Yep, he acts like one. That's for sure. And Glitter says, Bernie, back in my day. Yep, back in my day. That reminds me, so I went swimming yesterday, right? And then I wear I wear goggles sometimes when I swim because I don't like water getting in my eyes. Those swimming goggles, right? But this time I took them off, and a few hours later I was like washing my face or something, and I looked in the mirror and I saw like the goggle impressions right in my face, on my face, and it was still there. And I was like, what the heck? It's been like a couple hours. Why do I still have these goggle impressions on my face, right? And I'm like, whatever, it'll go away. And then, like, in the evening, I checked again. Like, this was like, I don't know, 6-8 hours later. And they were still there, right? And I was like, what the hell's going on? What's wrong with my skin? It's like it's not going back to normal, right? And this morning I checked again, and I still have some impressions under my eyes. So I'm like, I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, what's going on with my skin? And she's like, you're just old. So your skin's not bouncing back to its normal state. So I was like, oh, that sucks. Just getting old. So I'm like, man, that made me not want to wear the swimming goggles, because, dude, it's like permanently changing the way my face looks. It's old people problems. I'm just sharing old people problems with you guys. I was trying to rub it out. I was like, ugh. Anyways, you guys are, what are you talking about? I remember when I was like, I think in my 30s, early 30s. No, this must have been late 20s actually, sorry. This is before I had kids. And then some guy that I met, like we were guests at his house, and he was, you know, they were cooking dinner for us. And as we were talking, one of the conversations was, I mean, he was basically sharing with me, like his old man problems, right? And he was talking about like his skin and how yeah, he was having issues with his skin, right? And I think at the time he was like my age, like early 40s, right? And he was saying how like, oh yeah, you got to take care of your skin earlier, blah blah blah. And at the time my skin was like super nice, right? I had like good genetics, and I didn't even do anything with my skin. It was just nice on its own, right? And I was like, whatever, dude. I have good genetics. I don't have to worry about it. Like in my mind, that's what I was thinking when he was talking. And then sure enough, he was right. It's like one of those things where old people tell you something and you're like, whatever, dude. And then later on you realize they were right. It's one of those things. I'm like, oh man, should have taken better care of my skin. I'm not talking about just the swimming goggles. I'm talking about in general. Like after you hit 40, at least for me, you see a significant decline in everything. So in this case, I'm talking about skin, right? I saw a significant decline in my skin, the way my skin looks. Sorry, I'm talking about old people problems. Just listen to the old people. That's the lesson for today. Listen to us old folks. We know what we're talking about. We're not right about everything, but some things we are. Like when you're young, you could get away with so much stuff, right? You could get away with like eating whatever you want, not sleeping enough, all that. Later, you can't. It all catches up. Not taking care of your skin. Renee says maybe you're also not drinking enough water, maybe lack of moisturizer. I think I drink quite a bit of water actually compared to most people. I have water right here, look. But yeah, I'm always drinking water. Even when I go swimming, I take coconut water, so I'm always drinking. But I think it's just my skin's getting old and flabby. Like you can't, what do you call it? What do they say? Uh, yeah, it's you can't beat age, right? I mean, it's coming for everybody. Oh yeah, yeah. Glitter, what you're saying is true. Like sometimes, again, I think I'm still young mentally. Like mentally, I'm still like a teenager, right? So like I'll be doing something in the backyard, like let's say I'm on a ladder, right, or something like that, and I'll jump off of it, like you're saying, and like I get surprised by like the pain of jumping off the ladder. I'm like, oh, that hurt. Can't believe that hurt. Yeah, weird stuff like that happens, and then you realize your age. You're like, oh, I can't. I gotta be careful. I can't be jumping off of these like ladders and stuff. Like where the pain shoots all the way up to your legs, into your hips, your groin. Do you know you know what I mean? I know like even younger people, if you jump off something super high, you could feel that, right? But for me, it's like I'm jumping off something half the height of whatever you're jumping off of, and I still feel the pain, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep going. So I like what I'm doing here with the arm. That's more of a looser style, right? Compared to like everything else up here. But it's still clear what's going on, like the material's slightly shiny. That's what I want to do actually. So I'm starting to loosen up a bit here. It just took me about an hour to loosen up. To wake up, basically. Ooh, getting cold. Oh, the music turned off? What's going on? How did that happen? Weird. Thanks for telling me. I did not know. Julian, you're funny. Okay. Renee says, oh, that's good. I feel like I'm always telling older people to drink more water. Yeah. I mean, most people don't drink enough water. That's true. Especially when you're in a hotter area like California or Texas or whatever. Yeah, you really have to drink a lot more water. And people get headaches, right? And they feel tired and they don't know why. And it's basically because they're not drinking enough water. Brianna says, sleeping in an odd position and waking up with a kink in your neck. Yep, that happens. Brianna, are you old or something? Is that why you're saying that? Or are you saying you just feel old when that happens? For me, it's like I have shoulder issues because I sleep on my side sometimes, or maybe half the time, and I know it's bad, but what can I do? That's what I'm just used to it. But yeah, because of that, I have shoulder problems. Renee says, I'm trying to fight time with the skincare routine and workout routine. I haven't come to terms with aging yet. No, all that stuff is great. You could slow it down for sure. Yeah, I mean, and you feel better, right? When you work out, so why not? That is all obviously a good thing to do. Yeah. And I know, like, my sister is super into skincare stuff. She has like a million different products on her on her sink. And she's always talking about stuff with my wife, and I'm like, all right, it's always changing, like the new thing. But yeah, and those things are super expensive, aren't they? That's what I hear, like certain lotions or whatever they are, they're like hundreds of dollars. Like the ones from Japan or Korea. I know Koreans are really into that stuff. Skincare. Like they have morning and nightly routines. Whatever, anyways. Julian asks, how long do you draw on a regular day? I'm the wrong person to ask because I'm just working. So for my work, it's more art directing stuff. I'll paint over things. I'll sketch for ideas and things like that, but for the most part, I don't really have time to do studies, to be honest, and which is kind of sad. I like doing studies, and I don't have time to do like full concepts, like from start to finish. That's why I'm super rusty. I told you guys that. If you stop drawing, you just get rusty, and that's how I feel right now. Look, you guys want to see my ugly sketches actually? Let me show you guys my ugly sketches. I did some last night while I was sitting on the sofa. Look at this. These are what my realistic sketches look like when I'm trying to just brainstorm. This is not for, you know, anyone to look at, but it's just for brainstorming, noodling for ideas. And they're ugly, but I don't care. And I show that because I know a lot of you guys get hung up on like what your brainstorming thumbnails look like, and you shouldn't care, honestly. For your portfolio, yes, put up your best stuff, right? Like clean up your thumbs later on, but for the actual work, it doesn't matter. You're trying to develop the creativity aspect of it. But yes, on your portfolio, perception is everything, so sure, put up some fake pretty drawings, right? That's fine. Renee says, yeah, some can be costly. I try not to go over $45 per product, but I've seen some be $85 per item. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of a couple $100, so I don't know. It must work. It must be like magic or something. But I do know the more expensive lotions, they do work better. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why they're expensive. Brianna says, I grew up on a ranch and have a lot of random injuries from doing stupid stuff when I was younger. Oh, yeah. Yup. Yeah, I've done stuff where it's not like I was trying to do anything crazy, but like when you're younger and you get an injury, you think you could just walk it off, right? So you don't take care of it when you should. I've done a lot of that where I got little, well, I guess you can't say they're serious, but somewhat serious, like injuries, like on my knees and my shoulder again, my back, things like that. And I just try to walk it off, meaning I'm not doing any physical therapy, I'm not going to a doctor, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not careful, I'll still use it, right, even though it hurts a little. And then it never goes away. As you get older, like, those same injuries, like, flare up, if that makes sense. When you're, like, overusing it. Like, they'll come back and haunt you. So it's better to take care of those injuries, right? Instead of trying to ignore them. Now I'm looking at this side, and the design's different a little bit on the base of the spike. So I gotta decide what to do with that. Which direction to take it. Glitter says for a second I thought he was showing us, or I thought you meant showing us stick figures. He is going to show us stick figures. Okay. Julian says sketches, love them. Cool. Yeah, keep your sketches loose. Brainstorm a ton of ideas. That's what it's about, in my opinion. Don't worry about the way it looks. Just go crazy and do a ton of them. I mean, I go through a ton of ideas. Like for this one character that I'm working on, not this one I'm talking about at work. Sketches, like ideas. I might go through over 100 different ideas before I start narrowing it down. And this is for a very important character. It's not like a random NPC or whatever. In those cases, it's different because, you know, you're not going to spend as much time on it because it's just not important. But for important characters, I will do 100 different ideas on it, maybe up to 100, until I could really find something I like. And how are you going to make every, like, you know, all those 100 drawings look nice? You're just not gonna, if you're like hung up on what it looks like, you're just gonna end up stopping at like, I don't know, maybe 20, because you don't have the time to render all that or make it look pretty. So you're just gonna stop. You're gonna run out of time. So that's why that's my excuse for doing ugly sketches. Because it's all about the idea at that stage. I'm not going to waste time rendering it. I'd rather spend the time coming up with another idea. But sure, when you're doing work for that you need to show to a client or someone you're working with, like the art director or whatever, then sure, you have to, whatever you show has to be clear. So eventually what I do is with those 100 ideas, I will narrow it down to maybe 3 to 5. And then I'll develop those separately. And in that, when I'm doing that, I'll, you know, make it more clear. I'll make the designs a bit clearer. Julian says, I can't understand what you're writing there. You sketch ideas on work. Do they look like your private sketches? Yeah, I mean, again, I don't show them to most people, or maybe I will sometimes, but I mean, I guess because I'm the art director, I don't really care what other people think, so I would show it, but I understand if you're a concept artist, right? You do care about what other people think. You should a little bit, because they might misjudge you, right? So you only want to show your best sketches, actually. Yeah, but as a art director, you don't care. You're just showing them, hey, these are my ideas. Do something like this, or think about something like this. Consider this. You know what I mean? Hi, is it Ibram? Great concept. Cool. This is my son's concept. I'm going off of my son's concept. Yeah, he has some cool designs. Brianna says, what was the first thing you got obsessed with drawing? Horses were always my favorite thing to draw as a kid. Wow, horses are hard to draw, so that's cool that you're into horses. For most people, it's super intimidating to draw a horse. My first obsession with drawing were dinosaurs. I think I shared that before. I saw my sister drawing dinosaurs. I think she was she in 3rd grade maybe? And I was in 1st grade. And I started drawing dinosaurs because she was learning about dinosaurs in school. And I was like, oh, those are cool. And so I just started copying whatever she was drawing. And then I really got into dinosaurs. I had all these posters and toys and all that. And that's part of the reason why I think I wanted to be an archaeologist, because like I could find these dinosaurs. These giant lizards that look like dragons. Oh, my camera! I'm just holding that pose. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Blasphemer. I didn't know you were still there. You've been quiet these days. Thanks for letting me know, though. I'm finally getting a new computer. Again, that's what my company told me. I don't know when it's getting here, but at least they've confirmed with me that I'm getting a new one. So thank God, because this one's pretty freaking old. It's always causing me problems. The one they gave me is utterly useless anyways. This is my personal one. But it's my backup one, which is really old. Yeah, I gotta go faster. See, this is why I say I'm not gonna get a job as a concept artist, because I'm just way too slow now. And I'm sure part of it is because I'm streaming, like, it's hard to concentrate. But still, I should be much faster than this. Too slow. I keep telling myself to go faster, like in my mind too, but it's not working. I'm too old. Like, my brain knows, but my body won't listen to me. Blasphemer says I wanted to become a paleontologist as well for the same reason. Cool. Man, it's interesting how a lot of us think alike or similarly. I think there's a lot of jobs that I could do and enjoy. I think the problem that I find or that I've thought about is anything like if you do it too much of it, like it just becomes a job. You know what I mean? It sucks the joy out of it basically if you do too much of it. Like if I could reduce my hours for any, like, you know, of the jobs that I do that I like to like half the time, then I think I would really enjoy it a lot more. And I think a lot of things are like that in life, right? But when you have to like overwork yourself to make a decent living off of something, or, you know, that's what the job requires, then it's just work. It's not as fun anymore, right? Can't change that though. I mean, that's the kind of society we live in where everything's so competitive, right? You have to work a certain amount of hours to stay competitive. If you don't, you'll fall behind. So it is a bit unfortunate, but that's what it is. It is what it is, right? Like, I guess if I had to dig dig for like gems all day long, every day, I would hate it too. Blasphemer says, well, there are studies that show that a 4-day week can be actually more productive for a lot of companies. I hope that study's true. I could see why. I mean, I guess it depends. But yeah, I could see why that could be possible or true. Like me personally, I guess I would rather work really hard for 4 days, you know, more than 8 hours a day, and then just, you know, do whatever I want for the remaining 3 days. Like I would prefer that over just spreading myself, you know, throughout the whole week. Is that why that's the case? Because then I'm like, oh, I could get all my stuff done early, and then I get more free time. I'm gonna take a break real quick. I'll be right back in a minute, alright? Alright, I'm back. Blasphemer says, so maybe it'll become better someday. I think it was because the staff was healthier. Oh, I missed something, okay. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, I think it was because the staff was healthier and more relaxed, so they actually got more stuff done. But my guess for concept art, it's difficult because in game development, there is a lot of crunch culture. Yep. If the company's large enough and you have enough people like to work on stuff, right? Then it's, you know, then more people can get the time to take breaks, things like that. But a lot of mobile game companies especially are smaller. So you don't have that many people, but you have a ton of work to do. So it's hard to take a lot of time off, or you just feel a lot of pressure to produce, right? Because everyone knows how much work there is to get done. There's a ton of stuff. There's no end to it, basically. We have a wish list, right? If you're done with the absolutely necessary required items, then there's a wish list. So it never ends. It never ends. So yeah, there's pros and cons to working for a large company and small company. Really depends. Is there anyone here who loves Mondays? You wake up, or Sunday evening, you're like, oh, I can't wait till Monday. I want to know. Who loves Mondays? Who's excited to start the week? I'm sure there are people like that. I wish I was more like that. Maybe that shows something though, huh? About myself. Or about what I'm doing. Trying to add some more contrast back into the head. Renee says the only people I've known who like Mondays don't work on Mondays. Yeah, that would be nice. Julian says I hate Thursdays because then stuff gets real. Or Tuesdays, maybe he meant Tuesdays, okay. Brianna says that's true of many industries. The accounting field is similar. The big money will burn and churn people all the time. Blasphemer says true, Mondays you can still ride the wave kinda. Tuesdays is complete crash. Brianna says I have D&D on Monday night, so that's the only good thing about Monday. Yeah, that's good that you, I guess that's a smart thing, is to schedule something on Monday that you look forward to, right? That's a smart thing to do, to balance out, you know, what you don't look forward to. That's smart, actually. I should do that too. Place something on Monday that you really look forward to, so that it's not all bad. I'm gonna think about that. What I can do. Huh. I mean, this is fun too. It's just kind of early in the morning. It's not super early, but still, for me, it takes me a while to like wake up, kind of like for my brain to completely wake up. So it's like, I'm sure you guys understand how I feel. Like you wake up and you're like, I'm streaming live and now I gotta draw in front of everyone and I'm not like super comfortable with it because I'm rusty and all these other things. I don't know what I'm gonna draw today. What am I gonna draw? Hey, why is this not working? And it's 2 hours. 2 hours is kind of long. 1 hour is perfect. 2 hours kind of long to ramble on about nonsense. Hey, dude, what's going on here? Am I doing something wrong here? Oh, sorry. Shoot, it's on multiply. My bad. See, look at what happens when I'm not fully awake. Oops. Oops. Hey, thanks for joining me on this stream and waking me up this Monday morning. Hope you guys work hard this week. Have a plan every week before you start. Write it down on a piece of paper, what your goals are, and make every effort to accomplish them, okay? Keep going with your studies. And I will see you guys next Monday, alright? Hey, thanks Julian, thanks for the compliment. Have a good week, everyone. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.